Spit Squad, it has been released that Big Scarr died of an alleged overdose off the perks, and they say he was with his girlfriend at the time. So what they basically saying is, yeah, he took too much, man. And it can be powerful, man, especially if you've been mixing. And you know, sometimes the thing with drugs is you don't know how much of that drug you taking, right? And I know people might say, oh, well, maybe he taking the perk 30, so he knew what he was taking, or maybe he taking the perk this or that. Well, what you have to understand is that, all right, let's just say this guy may be off liquor, or maybe he drunk liquor earlier, or maybe he drunk some lean, or maybe he haven't been getting enough sleep, or maybe he was...
I'm on the way home, nigga. Like, I fell asleep, bro. I just fell asleep. Like, and soon I opened my eyes. Y'all know that big water shit, like the construction workers be using, the big wide ones. They put the water in to hold the weight. Bro, I hit one of them bitches and hit 3 more. I said, God. Ain't shit though. They all going to the shop tomorrow. Y'all still running. What wrong with them, dude? They tell me,
this shit getting fixed.
This shit getting fixed.
Yeah, trip at this shit. Shit small.
We ain't the one trip.
We got veneers in that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got no veneers. I don't know what he talking about.
About 1,000 for my smile. If you run over, you gon'
shit.
And I put that shit on for my
I put that shit on Either May. Hey, what my journey? Yeah, man, I got it. I'm tripped out. That ain't, I mean, dude. Yeah. Lock the door. Where the kid? Where the kid? Yeah, we good. Come on. Yeah. On that tip, get everything.
Go Barbara on the bag. What happened?
I'm saying the straightening, you know what we're gonna do. Get all that together so we can go down there and scream.
I don't know where the ashtray at. Why we got the top?
Ashtray right there. Nah, it worked.
Now I'm saying the light worked.
I unplugged it and put it in the trunk. It worked. It worked like a motherfucker. I don't smoke wood like that. Them bitches don't. That be too hard sometimes. I smoke them all sometimes. I smoke wood now. Come on, man. Yeah, I got the key.
Last night. Hey, turn the car around, man.
All right. Y'all go hard in the comments. Y'all go hard. Bitch, I'm going for the win. I do with no pad and no pen. This shit that you got in your pants. I walk through the mall with this shit sticking out of my pants. These niggas know I'm the man. Like that nigga Scott, that young nigga back at it again. I been focused on sticking no ain't been no give a boy my friend. No give a fuck about a friend shit just about the chopper. That big kind of too clear. When I shoot, yeah, I bet they be gon' rip me. Remember that we were trapping not too zip. These nigga bitch with loose lips. No, you know I put out the game like a jump ship. I stop playing like I'm Sean Kill Plus. Just like me a pair want me dunked on. Yo what do? If he ain't shot no in front of him, looking for one to hit play right in front of him. Eat an M block like an Eminem. How's the fuck on the way to the Eminem? Don't play with me cause I ain't one of them. I don't give a fuck about rapping about none of them. Oh God. They switch it to Hindenburg, Evelyn, right down the side like I'm rocking designer 10. Guru began with butter and send his ass life out the death of Antonym. Bro, man, look. Boy, you a rag at your nigga, Jack clean the kick out with the gun, he'll never jam. When I'm in the coupe, when I'm in the booth, bitch, I'm going ham, huh? Still takes a half of the law like I'm Uncle Sam. Only move way I don't do the ground. Won't you step and go holler my bro to them. My little water to them. If you don't know him, you know that we showing him. If in on my side, then my dog just like older than him. You hear me? If I got it, I took it. You know I ain't no owing him. On
No cap.
X-Bob. Fuck you talking about. If I got it, I took it. You know I ain't no owing him. No cap. X-Bob. Took off on Bobcat, bitch ass nigga, get shit back. Yeah, we gonna find, I don't know the piece I was looking for. Don't play with me cause I ain't one of them. I don't give a fuck about rap about none of them. What you laughing at, cuz? Perk got me feeling like a hangover. Stay over. Really. To pull forward to walk. You hear me, cuz? Say that, you know what's up.
Hey, you got blood?
Where you going, cuz? Where you going, cuz? Cuz? Where you going, cuz? Hey, wait. I'm telling the fuck I ain't put on no gas field type thing. The fuck you remove? Let's take this shit off. Not with none of this shit. Fucking shit ain't going on. That's why I don't even know how to operate this shit. I'm 22 years old. My little brother done be on this shit like a motherfucker. I called it. Yeah, thought I dropped it. Got it. This gotta be a fake raise. Man, I'm trying to find somebody to cut my hair, bro.
Oh, what's good, boy? What's good, boy? Big Scarr in this hoe.
What's up with my dog?
What you want, bro?
My bad. I ain't even see you, fool. I still had to request shit joined. I thought there was somebody in the car tank. What's up with
Yeah. What's up with it, bro? You cool?
man? Shit, same shit, getting to it. You know what's up?
Hey, no, yeah. Hey, I fuck with your music hard, no bullshit, bro.
You said what?
I said I fuck with your music hard, no bullshit, bro.
What's your favorite song?
Shit, that probably Michael Jordan, the 23 shots.
23 shot like a Michael Jordan.
Yeah, something like
Just trying to feel like a random one. Get to the break of a fuck what these niggas doing. These niggas don't be doing shit.
Yeah. All right, bro. It's not you need,
Do your thing, bro. Stay up. You hear me?
Yeah,
Motivate.
already, bro.
Hear me?
Yeah, all right.
You doing anything good, keep doing it. Stay dangerous, because these niggas don't play first, so you don't do it either. Yeah.